Diaz denies the allegations. Mayor Bruce Harrell says, based on the findings of a report, Diaz violated 4 SPD policies, including a policy about dishonesty. Part of the turmoil that led up to Adrian Diaz's termination involves allegations that surfaced about him having a relationship with his former director of communications, Jamie Tompkins, and lying about it.
To figure out when somebody
Both Diaz and Tompkins deny having a romantic relationship. In this newly released letter, Mayor Bruce Harrell reveals the findings of a report from the Inspector General and the reasons for Diaz's dismissal.
The number one worst thing that he did, allegedly, is he lied. He lied during an investigation. And as a police officer, you cannot do that.
Diaz denies lying, but the mayor's letter states that Diaz made false statements. It also claims there were policy violations involving professionalism and disclosing conflicts of interest.
Supervising her, bypassing the normal background processes, all of that. It's a recipe for disaster. And we've seen how it worked out.
Tompkins stepped down in November after both were put on leave for personnel reasons.
And the community that has supported us through every challenge.
Back in May, Diaz was reassigned to work on special projects. In October, Diaz filed a $10 million claim against the city, alleging discrimination and harassment after coming out as gay. In a statement, Jamie Tompkins said, quote, "I support Chief Diaz and his family. The city has lost a fine public servant and a dedicated officer. The allegation that Chief Diaz and I were in a romantic or sexual relationship is completely false and highly damaging to both his and my professional reputations." And Diaz responded, saying, quote, "I was deeply saddened and blindsided by Mayor Harrell's decision earlier today to terminate my employment. I strongly disagree with both the decision and the purported reasons behind it. I look forward to clearing my name and exposing the city's retaliatory actions." In a statement, the mayor said he made the decision to remove Diaz based on the report from the Inspector General, which he called robust and thorough. In Seattle, Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
Adrian Diaz has been with the Seattle Police Department for decades, starting as an officer in 1997. He worked patrol and anti-crime before moving to the Investigations Bureau. Diaz was promoted to lieutenant in 2014, then assistant chief in 2018. Deputy chief just before he took over for Carmen Best as the interim chief in 2020. That was in the wake of the nationwide protests over policing. 2 years later, Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell picked Diaz as the permanent chief, and Diaz was sworn in January of 2023. That's when we get to the latest series of events. Diaz was removed in May of this year. He was then moved to special projects before he was placed on leave in October. Less than 2 months later, he is officially out of a job with the department.